Good morning, everybody. Bonjour tout le monde. Alright. I'm Zim, on commence à créole. Après, on a quitté si bon di moun qui cause anglais qui entre. Anyway, to the English speakers, I'm going to start in Creole because I had a previous video in Creole, which was very popular. And then I'll go into English. Alright. Welcome, the first person in. Lucky number one, lucky number two. Welcome. Ok, so, merci tout le monde qui tune in avec mon vidéo, mon bon produit et contre virus Corinne et pour l'immune système, ainsi de suite. Sa vidéo est très populaire. Il gagne à peu près presque 5000 views, which is a record-breaking thing for me, because considère mon pas de mettre trop beaucoup d'efforts dans la vidéo, je fais un peu vite entre mon consultation avec mon lunchtime. Hein? Ok, so, la moi for ben di moun Creole den adwa, welcome. Ok, Cleo la hein? Alright, ok. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. So, aujourd'hui nous proposons male sexual health. Ok, so, merci tout le monde qui a apprécié la vidéo avant et tout le monde qui passe dans la boutique pour venir voir d'autres produits. So, après que je fais la vidéo il gagne sauté 4800 views et t'as dit mon dans la boutique et t'as un produit fini. Parce que toi un produit dans une vidéo fini. Un qui là vitamine chaga mushroom fake fini hier samedi. Vitamin D3 fake fini hier. Yeah. Ça nous style en là qui est garlic. Yeah, si vous êtes intéressé. Actually, you're seeing fini, actually, mon quoi, hein? Yeah, you're seeing fini. So this is a garlic ginger digestive enzymes supplement, okay? So it turns out que actually, tous les trois ont quelque chose, ils bon pour male sexual health. The chaga mushroom, the vitamin D3, and the garlic, keolic garlic. À cause, chaga mushroom, il travaille au système entier comme un male and all of your sexual health. Low immune system, low hormonal health, low cardiovascular et nervous system. Li travaille aussi au même niveau, mais c'est un peu plus low cardiovascular et nervous function qui peut aider. So this is a garlic ginger. Et c'est un garlic qui là. Il y a un garlic qui est spécial. À cause d'un garlic qui est spécial. À cause d'un garlic, it's an aged garlic. Il y a un garlic qui est là, qui d'après préparation japonais et asiatique, ils ont format li. Par exemple, le format une plante, il y a un composant médicinal là-dedans et une play active. Ok? So, c'est pour ça qu'il y a et il y a un zézam là-dedans et il y a un digestive enzymes là-dedans qui peut aider avec le digestive function. Again, good digestive function is really important for male sexual health. Okay, welcome Maha, welcome all the English-speaking people. So we're going to move into English right now. Okay. So a few things about male sexual health I want to bring in. First and foremost, turmeric tea, everybody. Just black tea with a little bit of soya milk with a teaspoon of turmeric. This should be very good for your male sexual health as well. Okay? Start your day with this. Anti-corona, antiviral, immune enhancing. Okay. We're going to wait for more people to come in. It's not 9 o'clock yet. As usual, I'm tuning in quite early. We've got still 5 more minutes. Okay. So, what shall we do? Shall we Creole, English? Shall we wait for 5 minutes? Shall we get into it? I don't want to make the video long for playback anyway. Okay. So, first and foremost, I'm going to speak about things that men, when they come to me, a lot of men come to me for sexual health problems. A lot of men come to me for mainly erectile dysfunction problem. There is an epidemic in our country, a male sexual health and a sexual health epidemic. There are a lot of men and boys who are having difficulties to get it up. A lot of men are having issues to have their private part erect. Okay? Why? It's related to, one, Western culture, Western diet, and Western lifestyle. This is in Seychelles, but as all of you know, Europeans, Americans, Australians, Asians, other Africans, this is an international platform. This is why I'm speaking in English, because many people are tuning in to me from all over the world. So we're going to make it English because English is an international language, and most of us in Seychelles, even our elderly, can understand English. Okay, so what's wrong with the diet? What's wrong with the lifestyle? What's wrong with the culture that causes erectile dysfunction? Most of the men who come to me for erectile dysfunction, I'm treating them with personalized herb formulas. I'm treating them with things like magnesium and chaga mushroom and garlic, okay? But there's many other things that I don't have time to get into. My consultations are half an hour, maybe 1 hour max if you first come. But I don't have enough time to teach you about everything, okay? First and foremost, men don't know about. I'll just raise some points and then we'll get into these points. When I make a longer video, I will explain these things a bit more. So the points we're going to speak about today are: 1, the stages and phases of sexual health and lifestyle. Okay? Number 2, religious and cultural influences on sexual health and practice. Number 3, testosterone, male sexual hormone, and sexual health. Number 4, nervous system function and vascular system function, and cellular health and how that relates to male sexual health. Number 5, sugar, blood sugar levels, diabetes, and how that impacts male sexual health. Number 6, cardiovascular function and the psycho-emotional psychic aspects of the heart and how that affects sexual health, psychological trauma, and so forth. We go into the mind, self-image, psychology, how we view ourselves, how we function in life, how we relate to the other female or same-sex sexual partner. Okay? Number 8, female orgasms versus male orgasms. Number 9, Kegel exercises or PC muscle exercises and how that can improve erectile function. Okay. Number 9, excessive meat intake and how that affects semen quality and specifically smell and taste as well. Okay. Number 10 or number 11, I think, nitrous oxide, arginine, and how these two things can improve your sexual function. And number 12 and 13, number 12 is sexual magic, number 13 is the divinity and the spiritual function of sex. Okay, so we're going to get into these things one by one. Okay, right, so let's talk about the stages of sex. So, you have stages for everything in life. You have cycles in everything in life. So the stages of sex, you have childhood, infancy, childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. Okay? So there's parts of your life that you're supposed to be having more sex. For example, a baby, an infant, and a child are not supposed to have sex on their mind. That's just the way nature is. They're not supposed to naturally have sex on their mind, and they're not supposed to be influenced to have sex on their mind, and they're not supposed to be forced or obliged to think of sex. Okay? Innocence, purity is of utmost importance for children since they're born and when they grow up. but this is forgotten in nowadays where children are given, you know, sex or sexual perversions, bad foods, bad sounds, bad sights, bad visuals, bad everything since they're very small, and no wonder you have a sick society. Okay? So, when you're growing up in adolescence and childhood, that's also not the time to really be thinking about sex. Why? Because your mind and your body and your spirit is forming, it's in formation to go into the world. So information and education is very important in those stages. Okay? But we're not taught about these things. Okay? During my childhood and my adolescence, oftentimes I heard adult men speaking to me about sex and mentioning sexual concepts, which I never heard my father or adult males at my home speaking about, but this was in the community or everywhere I would go, I would hear these things. Okay? Right. Pedophilia, even though it's legal in certain parts of the world and it's accepted in certain systems of psychology, is not a healthy male sexual behavior. I'm sorry. Okay? I myself am not against, different sexualities, homosexual, bisexuals, and so forth. I have many friends and family and clients of that orientation that I've known for years. But pedophilia and pederasty, I'm sorry, is not one of the things that I condone or support. Okay? Now, let's get into testosterone. Now, a lot of the times in my videos, I'm recommending people to stop eating food that's rich in a lot of artificial hormones. So, meat nowadays that comes from overseas, especially poultry, even red meat as well, has a lot of antibiotics and hormones in it. Those antibiotics and those hormones in it affect male sexual hormones as well. It affects your testosterone level, right? And so you have foods that will affect your testosterone levels, and you have foods that will improve your testosterone levels. So if you look into this, specifically arginine-rich foods like nuts, they're the foods that will improve your erectile function. Okay? Why? Because erectile function, nerve function, and vascular function has to be working properly so that your penile function is working properly. If you don't have good nerval function, good nervous system, good circulatory, good capillary, good vascular and veins in your body, then obviously you will get difficulty to get erect. Okay? So that's one thing men are not taught about as well. Okay? Another thing is, if a lot of men, because Seychelles, we're very much a Western country, if you're brought up on pornography and masturbation and things like that, well, sometimes it can get difficulty to be erect, okay? Whereas abstaining from pornography, at least sometimes, yeah, it's better for your erectile function as well, okay? You have a much more mature and a much cleaner and a much purer view of sex, okay? Because the pornography that maybe should help people or should inspire people to, have proper romantic and sexual relations, that kind of pornography is not really made anymore. If it's made, you have to pay a lot of money to get it, okay? The kind of pornography you can get for free all over, it's fake, sometimes it's forced, and it's toxic. It's not good for your mind, it's not good for your body to indulge in that too much, okay? And obviously, if you're doing that a lot and masturbating a lot, obviously when you go to your sexual partner, then you will have difficulties being erect, okay? Because the images in your mind is influenced by this excessive intake of pornography and this excessive masturbation. So that will impact on your penis sexual function and your sexual stamina and process in general. Okay, so what affects nerve and vascular function? Well, sugary foods, processed foods, excessive toxic meat intake. These are the things that can impact your nervous and sexual health. Of course, toxic and delusions of grandeur. As I said, there's a whole psychological and mental part of this sexual health thing that I may or may not get into it today, depending on the time, okay, because I don't want to make it too long. One, because I know, in Seychelles, Wi-Fi for a lot of people is expensive. And number two, I'm not going to give you everything in the video. There's a lot of things is meant for one-on-one. And, maybe private classes and more videos in the future. But definitely, psychology has a big role to play. Even men who are suffering with erectile dysfunction, the way your confidence, your self-esteem, worrying, fear, anxiety, all of that affects your nervous system, affects your brain, which is your central nervous system, affects your spine, which is your central nervous system, and affects the veins and the capillaries in your body. So obviously it's going to affect how hard you get, if you're worrying, if you're fearing, if you're anxious, if you think you're weak, if you're remembering all the times in the past. So of course these are things you have to work on, okay? Turmeric and black tea with soya milk, no dairy milk, a little bit of red sugar. Yep, half a teaspoon. Okay, now another thing men can do is what's called Kegel exercises or PC muscle exercises. In other words, a lot of men haven't been taught that your penis is a muscle as well, okay? That's innervated. Yeah, as I said, turmeric in milk, turmeric and black tea with no milk but soya milk. Okay? Yeah. So, good morning, everybody. So, Kegel exercises and PC muscle exercises. So, men have been taught just pornography, just very superficial things about sex, and not being taught how to exercise your penis. You have to exercise your penis. Obviously, when you enter into 40 and 50 and 60, or even late 30s, or even some young men in their 20s are coming to me with male sexual health problems, specifically, erection problems. Now, as I was saying, so Kegel exercises and PC muscle exercises, I'm not going to teach you all about it. A lot of men don't know about this. I've been doing this myself since the age of 14. Okay, I have no erection issues at all, no sexual issues at all, no problems that many men I've seen my age, younger than me, older than me, have. Why? I've been drinking herbs since the age of 14. Okay, I've been doing meditation since the age of 14. I've been exercising since the age of 14. I've been eating predominantly fish and vegetables since the age of 14. I've been drinking herbs that helped me since the age of 14. I've been working on my mental health and psychology and psychological advancement and spiritual advancement since I was 14. So I have good nervous system function, good vascular function, good testosterone levels, and so forth, because I've been doing the right things all along. Now, PC muscle and Kegel muscle exercises, I have been doing for a long time. Now, if you do this on a daily basis, and if you know how to do this, I don't really want to teach this except on a one-to-one. Why? Because you can do it excessively as well. You can do it excessively and can affect your penis and your prostate function if you do it too much, especially if you have pornography and masturbation involved into this. Okay, so recapping, in terms of stages of sex and proper sex, everyone who's really under 20, under 18 shouldn't really be watching this, okay? And if you are, then, you have to check your other priorities in life. You have to get back into learning, get back into growing, get back into focusing on trying to attain a good job, a good work, a good career, or at least trying to be productive in your life, okay? Too many people under the age of 20 are having sex too young and wasting your sexual energy, wasting your mind, function, wasting your body function, wasting your life away by just indulging in sex in a time when you're not supposed to be indulging in sex. You will have time in your life where you should be and you can be indulging in sex abundantly. You know, we're in this thing where because of postmodernism and modernism, because of Western culture, because of Americanism, because of the digital age, you know, people are living outside of the cycles of nature. So because of this, our sexual health is being affected. But living outside of the cycles of nature mean that we don't know what's the right time and what's the right place to do things at time. Especially Western culture, like our culture, even in Seychelles, hasn't taught us about many things like these, you know. So there's a time for sex and a time not for sex. There's a time to focus on certain things. You know what I mean? So there's a time and place for everything. Right. Likewise, there's a very popular Chinese medicine saying that says, when the candle's about to finish burning, it burns the brightest. I'm sure you've all seen this, yeah? When your candle's finishing, it's starting to blow the brightest. In other words, when you're at the end of your life, your sexual urges is a bit stronger, okay? But you have to know that the candle is going to go out very soon. You have to know that you're going to leave your body very soon. And there is a life after life, and death is just a transition of life, okay? So you live on after life in another form, but you want to prepare for this. You don't want to be in your late 60s, 70s, and be worrying about sex, worrying that you can't get it up. 70-year-old guys come to me and put pressure on me to help them get hard. I mean, you're supposed to be preparing to enter into your coffin. Really and truly. You're supposed to be thinking about what is the meaning of life? Where does life come from? How have I lived? What have I done? How have I helped society? How have I helped my country and my family and my friends? How have I evolved? You know, things like these. And if you've not done these things, then you've got to start going into these things at that age. Okay? You've got to start changing your mind, changing your body, changing your diet, changing your lifestyle, preparing to enter into death, preparing to leave behind your family. Okay? So that's another thing. You know, too many, old men and women are too vested and interested in sex. Okay, I have my clients in their 60s who come to me and, still want to have sex. That's fine. I mean, not every day, I tell them, occasionally, okay? But if you do have sex during that age, you want to retain semen if you're a man. Likewise, one of the ways to improve sexual health is for men to learn how to retain semen, proper semen retention. In other words, how to have sex without ejaculating can give you a lot of powers, mental powers, physical powers, sexual powers, psychic powers. Okay? Okay. Toning it down a bit, getting back to the material level, it can help you have a stronger brain function. It can work on anti-aging, antioxidant cellular systems in your body. It can improve your immune function. It can keep you younger, okay? It can prevent you aging fast as well if you retain semen. Okay, we've not been taught. Men think that we should ejaculate every time we do sex, okay? But in the East, okay, in ancient African systems, it's well known that if you retain semen, then you can age slower and you can be much more energetic and you can have a much more stronger immune function, as well as, be spiritual, be more psychic, have more powers and so forth. Okay, so that's another thing that I teach on and people should look into. And like I said, I will have another video where I will speak about these things. Okay, magnesium is one other supplement that I put people on, because if you have magnesium, if you're taking magnesium, then you have good vascular function, you have good nervous system function, good mental function, good energy. It really should help you. Okay? And another thing is that magnesium regulates your blood sugar. If you regulate your blood sugar, then you will have good penis health. If you're eating a lot of bread, a lot of sugar, a lot of dairy, a lot of preserved foods, excessive meat, then you will not have good sexual function. Actually, if you're eating a lot of acidic processed foods, if you're eating a lot of meat, I'll tell you something, guys, your semen is going to stink. A lot of you women know this already, right? A lot of guys' semen stink. Why? A lot of men, you've got semen that's infected. Okay, a lot of you didn't know this until you came to me to treat, and I sent you to do a blood test. And when you did a blood test, you found pus cells or red blood cells in your semen evaluation. Okay, that means you have some sort of infection going on in your reproductive system, maybe in your prostate, maybe in your urinary tract, maybe in your urethra, maybe in your testicular penile area as well. Okay, so again, we're just touching on these things. I'm not going to tell you how to improve your testosterone, how to improve your nervous system function. Based upon the response of this video, I will make a part 2 where I will go into some of these techniques. Okay, but men who use a lot of beer, for example, a lot of Guinness, eat too much meat, eat too much dairy, then what happens is that your testosterone level is too low. And this is why you see a lot of men are going bald nowadays. A lot of men are losing hair. A lot of boys in my class I went to school with, I'm 34 this year, have lost hair. A lot of men younger than me come to me to treat baldness and alopecia and hair loss. This is an epidemic as well. A lot of things, are not being told by the Ministry of Health or by the media. You have a fertility epidemic in the country, you have a sexual health epidemic in the country. A lot of men can't get it up, can't get hard, even young men, and it's a serious problem. Okay, and we need to speak about these things. I may or may not speak about these things on Facebook. I did organize workshops and seminars this year, and even last year, but thanks to Corona, I have workshops and seminars since March last year, June last year, that we've had to put off because of the Corona pandemic, scamdemic, sorry, oops. Okay, so yep, so these are the points I touched on, very important points. Okay, lastly I want to say that there is a religious and spiritual and divine and psychic aspect to sex. In other words, man is a spiritual, psychic, mental, and physical being. You don't have just a material, physical, and just a mental, psychological part of you. There's also an unseen spiritual part of you. There's also an auric, etheric, psychic part of you that you can't see. But in other words, men have not been put on earth just to breed, just to, feed, fly, fear, and fuck. Okay? Men are not just on earth to survive and just exist on their basic instincts and basic needs. There's a way to use sex to be able to develop personally. There's a way to use sex to engage in personal development. There is a way to use sex to transcend and transform psychologically. There is a way to use sex to achieve goals in life, earthly goals, mundane goals, as well as spiritual, psychic goals and psychological goals as well. Okay? There is a way to use sex to attain health, to attain wealth, to attain your objectives and your goals in life, but you've not been taught that. There is a way to fuse sex and ritual. There is a way to fuse sex and prayer. There is a way to fuse sex and meditation. Okay? There are spiritual aspects of self that we've not been taught about. Why? Because religions have taught us that sex is evil, sex is unclean, sex is dirty, and all these things. Whereas the material Western world has taught us that, let's be liberal about sex, and sex is to be done anyway, any day, everywhere, and whatever. So there is this excess in the world where we've grown up in a Catholic, Christian, Muslim, even Hindu, any type of religious dogmatic type of school, which tells you, sex is evil and sex is wrong and sex is only to make babies. And then you have this school that gives you a lot of toxic pornography and tells you all these unhealthy things. So these are two extremes, night and day. You have to find the midline. You have to find in between. Okay, you have to find the moderation in between. Okay, there is a material, physical, there is a non-material, and you have to balance. Okay, in terms of sex. Okay, so some sexual remedies, I can give you some herbs. I can just name drop right now: tribulus, macaroot, muira puama, butea, long jack, Korean ginseng, damiana, okay, ginger, cinnamon, okay. Now, I want to go back in terms of, so these are the herbs that you can get that gives you a good strong erection, that gives you sexual stamina, and that sustains your erection, that sustains your sexual energy and stamina, okay. Now, look, men are not supposed to be eating sweets, guys. Okay, I grew up in the Seychelles where you would never see a man eating a sweet. You would never see a man eating a chocobar, an ice cream. You would never see this kind of bullshit in the day and age, in the 80s that I grew up. If you go to Africa, certain places like Ghana, they will tell you things like, maybe it's changed nowadays, they will tell you things like, 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, it was like this. They will tell you things like, if you see a grown man eating a sweet, they will ask you if you're a child. And they will tell you that it's mainly children that are supposed to be eating sweets. And that is very, 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 very age-old wisdom. Very wise. Why? If you eat too much sugar, your testosterone levels will drop. If you eat too much sugar, your estrogen levels will go up. If your estrogen level goes up, you have too much female hormones in your body. Men with big bellies, you have too much female hormones in your body. You eat too much sugar, you eat too much flour, too much fried foods, you drink too much alcohol, you drink too much beer, then you have a fat belly, okay? Then your dick is not going to protrude, okay? Your dick's not going to be hard, okay? Your erection's not going to sustain. You have to, cigarette, alcohol, beer, estrogen foods, if you're a man, you have to put these things away. These things, sweets, mamãe que manze, daze. Mamãe que boit limonade. Ok? Sou boit la bière tous les jours, pas facile pour read tous les jours. Okay? So, think about things like these, guys. Men think that, if you drink alcohol, you're a man. If you smoke cigarettes, you're a man. If you're able to drink whiskey, you're a man. Dude, being a man means having a hard dick. Okay? I would rather have a hard dick than drink alcohol, eat sweets, do all that kind of stuff. Because having a hard dick is what's called a man. Not eating alcohol, whatever. Okay? So you have to be conscious of male sexual hormones. A lot of you are on atorvastatin, cholesterol-lowering drugs. Cholesterol-lowering drugs reduce testosterone in your body, increases estrogen in your body, and it makes you weak mentally, physically, spiritually as a man. You need testosterone in your body to be able to, you need good levels of testosterone in your body to be able to love your wife, your girlfriend, your woman in your life. Okay? You need good testosterone levels to have confidence in yourself. Men in Seychelles, for example, backbite too much. Y'all are too pussy. You can't tell me nothing in my face. You're always talking behind my back. A lot of you are scared if your wives or girlfriends or ladies come and see me. Why? Why? Because your testosterone levels are not high enough, which makes your confidence go down. Okay? I have full confidence in myself, full trust in myself. Likewise, full confidence and full trust in my female partner. I've never prevented my lady from going out with her lady friends, from going to see a male doctor, from going other places, okay? Because I have full confidence in myself, okay? And we've been together for 17 years now, okay? So, I mean, a lot of things men haven't been taught. Men haven't been taught to be men. Ok? So, testosterone, for example, men, par exemple, Cecil, ma diyo te kesos a kreol. Cecil zon baka di en bouk en kesos direk. En bouk fode balbise, en bouk fode koz pa deye mon ledo. En bouk baka get mo de mon figi, ket fa mo to fe pe, koman Dr. Pascal, sa koman Pascal Changleng, pas fasil pou en bouk di mo kesos fan de mon figi. Full time, mo bize tan at ave en lot bouk, ou sa mo bize tan pa deye mon ledo. What's up with that? That's what you call pussy man. Okay? Because you don't have the malehood and the masculinity to man up and, diplomatically and courteously, respectfully tell your fellow man what the problem is. Men and men have to talk. There is a difference between being macho and being masculine. Being macho is the antithesis, the opposite of being masculine. If you're masculine, if you're a strong man, if your manhood is strong, you know yourself, you love yourself, you have a good self-image psychology, good self-esteem, then you're not macho. Because macho-ness is an illusion that you've been taught. A lot of macho men in the world have small dick that are limp, okay? And can't get it up, okay? The real men don't really talk so much. The real men don't really boast so much. The real men aren't, on a quest to prove that they're men. Their diet, lifestyle, their mind, their sayings, their doings prove that they're men. For example, men are able to communicate with other men. Men are able to love other men as brothers and not envy other men, not be jealous of other men. Men are able to trust their female or male partner fully, okay, without any paranoia or fear interfering into the process. Okay? Men are able to share. Men are able to be a positive role model to younger men. Men are supposed to be able to take responsibility. If you've done something wrong, then you can admit you've done something wrong to your partner as well as to humanity, as well to other men. Okay? So, men have to learn how to be men, and I'm sorry, sexual men, Western men, you've not been taught how to be men. You've not been taught the mental, physical, and spiritual aspects of testosterone. You've not been taught what testosterone is. You're drinking a lot of estrogen-rich foods. You're eating a lot of estrogen-rich foods. Your testosterone levels are very low. Your blood sugar level is very high. You're eating sweets. You're eating flour. You're eating dairy all the time. Your blood sugar level is going up and down like this. Okay? Whereas if you eat some cassava, your blood sugar levels will regulate. If you eat brown rice, your blood sugar levels will regulate. If you cut out the beer, the estrogen levels will go down. If you clean your body, you reduce the acidity, the testosterone will go up. You take certain herbs, the testosterone will go up again. Another thing is that sexual union is supposed to be about how your other partner feels about themselves and life. It's not supposed to be about you just getting yourself off. It's not supposed to be about you just getting yourself satisfied. Just like a relationship. It's not supposed to be about you only. A relationship is supposed to be a relationship is supposed to be how a man and a woman, okay, or if it's a homosexual relationship, how the two partners can help each other to become better men and women in society. How you can become stronger, how you can become more confident, how you can heal from your trauma. A man and a woman come together, male and female partner come together so that we're able to help each other, so that we're supposed to empower each other, so that we're able to develop each other, so that we're able to love each other, so that we're able to enjoy our time with each other. It's not just about our personal and selfish desire. For sexual processes to improve, you also have to be thinking about how your other partner feels, how your other partner thinks, what your other partner is doing, in life. Okay? So, that's about half an hour into the talk. I'm glad everyone tuned in. Thank you everyone for coming in. Thank you everyone for tuning in. A lot of hi Jill, tuning in from overseas. Okay, just a review again. So speaking about male sexual health, there are stages of sex. There is proper sex versus improper sex. There is macho culture versus masculinity. There is function and health of testosterone. There is knowledge about your brain, your nervous system, your spine, and your peripheral vascular system. You have sugar, blood sugar levels, diabetes, and how that affects your male sexual function. You have mental and psychological trauma, self-image, and processes that's affecting men. Men don't know how to do Kegel and PC muscle exercises. Cardiovascular health and heart health is very important. Female orgasms. Men, did you know that you have to let your females experience at least 2 to 3 orgasms before you ejaculate? That's selflessness on another level, because it's selfishness. Most men are selfish. Most men are just concerned about when they ejaculate. You know, there's this ancient Rwandan. I'll tell you guys a secret. The roots of Western civilization, the roots of Asian civilization, the roots of all civilization comes from ancient Africa. It comes from ancient Egypt. The roots of ancient Egypt or ancient Kemet comes from ancient Kush. The roots of ancient Kush comes from the Baganda kingdoms, you know, which is the kingdoms of Lake Victoria district. Okay? Now, there is a practice there that exists from that time until this time. They're still doing this practice. Okay? It's called the practice of the sacred waters. Okay? It's called the practice of kunyaza. Là, on peut donner d'autres secrets là aujourd'hui, hein? Après, faire ces autres passer, venir supporter un bouc dans la boutique, venir acheter bon remède. OK? Tout bon qui peut venir, tout bon qui peut donner d'autres secrets. OK? I mean, free things are overrated. Business and making money is also overrated nowadays. Like I said, we live in a time of extremes. You know, sometimes you got to do some things free, sometimes you got to charge for things. Okay? It's not all about money, and it's not all about giving free things. Okay? There is something. Anyway, I've given you the name. There's a documentary. This is an ancient practice. It's a practice of what's called the many or the multiple sexual waters. In other words, it's the practice of how a man can make a woman squirt. Okay? And how it's important for the male and the female health and the relationship health and the general health of society to make the women squirt. And practices that you can do around, that the male can do with the male part and the female part, you know, or maybe fingers or mouth, that can cause the female to have multiple orgasms. Now, when a female has multiple orgasms, they enter into states, non-ordinary states of consciousnance. States of consciousness that they don't usually enter. So this is the ancient African spiritual sciences of when you're making a female enter and have multiple orgasms with a certain level of consciousness. Then you can allow this female to enter into an interstellar, spiritual, mystical realm where they can receive healing from angels, from spiritual entities, from God, from their ancestors. They can receive powers. They can also receive spiritual and wisdom teachings. Okay? But you have to lay the groundwork for these things. You can't just do these things. Okay? So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of teachings that the world want from me. So I'm not going to give it all in this video. We've got to give it gradually. Not going to give it again. You're going to have to rewind to get it. Okay? The teaching of the sacred and many waters. Okay? In other words, in ancient Africa and ancient Kemet, if a man can't make a woman squirt, even now in Uganda, if a man can't make a woman squirt and have multiple orgasms, then they're not really men. And a lot of Seychelles men, a lot of Western men, a lot of American men, a lot of European men, a lot of Asian men are ejaculating before they're female. Even in ancient Taoist, in ancient Chinese, in ancient South Indian, in ancient yogic tantric works, the male, for you to enter into mental and physical and sexual and spiritual prowess, for you to develop and really become empowered, then you have to make your female partner experience at least 2 or 3 orgasms before you ejaculate. Okay? And it's considered, like I said, into these cultures, it's considered rude for you to ejaculate before your female. It's considered selfish. You see, and no wonder why men are like boys in the world and men are selfish in the world. Because men are ejaculating every time before the female. So you've got to allow the female to ejaculate multiple times and then you ejaculate. Means you have to delay your ejaculation multiple times. When you do this, your health will improve. When you do this, your powers will improve. Your energy will improve. Okay? So sex is sacred, guys. Sex is divine, guys. Okay? Sex is not impure. Sex is not dirty. Sex is not, akin to bestiality and animals. Animals know their place. Human beings, men and women, know your place as well. You are the reflection of God on earth, of divinity on earth. Okay? So, know yourself to be able to have optimal, good sexual health. Okay? Any other questions? You can write it down. We'll see in the next video. We might address it. But I'm very happy everyone tuned in. 80 people watching live. I'm sure a lot of people will listen to this. I did intend to make it 15 to 20 minutes. I did intend to conceal some of the things I told you, specifically concerning kunyaza and other things. But, I freely gave you some gems today. And I'm glad that you tuned in and you appreciate it and you love it. Okay, I will be doing Zoom classes in the future where I will charge for things like this, about male sexual health, about female sexual health, increasing libido, aphrodisiacs, increasing stamina, exercise that you can do to improve your the hardness of your erection, exercise that you can do to improve your sexual stamina, exercise that you can do to have better orgasms and ejaculation. Big up Rasmalgas. Et là, t'as mon peu écouter banchoun, hein? Écoutez puis aïe. Si vous voulez contacter moi, m'envoyer un peu la musique. Yeah, all right. Yeah, music is another thing as well. Some music you men are listening to are not helping you sexually as well. Okay, you gotta listen to some ayahs to to be powerful sexually. And a lot of you men making weak sexual music out there, you gotta stop that shit. Okay. When we go into the mystic revelation part of sexual health, I will teach you about Pascal Beverly Randolph, who is the African American of Madagascar, Malagasy descent, who taught Abraham Lincoln, Colonel H.H. Hitchcock, François Dumas, the son of Alexandre Dumas, who wrote The Three Musketeers, great, very well-known, famous literary expert writer of, the past, Eliphas Levi, H.P. Blavatsky, Hargrave Jennings, R. Swinburne, Black Churches of America, all of these people, Prince Hall, Aleister Crowley, all of these people learned sexual magic from Pascal Beverly Randolph. Okay, it's called the soul science, and it's called Ulyss. Okay, it's called what the practice and the principles of true love. Because this guy's system was not a perverted aspect of sex magic. It was how true love and true bliss is about. And we're not taught about bliss as well. Okay? We're not taught about euphoria. In Seychelles culture, c'est ça qui dit mon y connaît lo bliss. C'est ça pas qu'on n'a lo bliss. Nous qu'on dit parti, amusé, qu'il fa, MTPC, quelque chose comme ça. Nous pas qu'on n'a lo bliss. Blissful states, euphoric states. Asians know about it. Chinese people know. In ancient Chinese practice and traditional Chinese practice is knows about this. Indian and yogic tantric knows about this. Maybe Chinese mainstream, maybe the Indian mainstream knows about this. Okay, and ancient Africans know about this. It's mainly the Western world that has confused people about sex and not told people a lot of things about sex. Okay, so. And all of you who are like into occultism and that, a lot of these people you follow, who's that, Manu and Charles, you asked me about Franz Bardon. Well, Franz Bardon was taught by Pascal Beverly Randolph, yet the world didn't teach about Pascal Beverly Randolph. Okay, Pascal Beverly Randolph teaches about health, just like how I teach about health. Pascal Beverly Randolph, like I said, helped Abraham Lincoln abolish slavery, but we don't know about him. Pascal Beverly Randolph was also known to the son of Napoleon, and he was known all over Europe. Okay? So I have lots of things that I can share with you freely, and a lot of things that you're going to pay me for me to share with you. Because, in life, I noticed a lot of things, like I said, people either expect everything to be free, or they either want to just focus on money making and money everything. Okay, life is not about money, and not everything in life is free. For example, okay, Ancien Ferdinand Vidot, the old traditional herbalist who I'm a student of, okay, always taught me something. That, when you take plants from it, you know what he would tell me? He would tell me herbal remedies are not meant to be told to the public. He would always tell me that we herbalists, bonhomme du bois, like medicine men, we make the preparations, we get the herbs, and we give it to the clients. We can't let the masses know what herbs to use. Why? Because you will go into the forest and you will chop down each and every tree and bring it home and try and make money on it. Or, because you've been taught how to be human. You've not taught how to be divine and spiritual and moral. You've been taught, how to, do things like that. Okay? So, for example, this tree at the back of me. This tree is boison. In the forest of Seychelles, you have lots of boison. Boison is called Alstonia macrophylla. Okay? This is a natural aphrodisiac. It's a natural antipyretic, brings down fever, antiviral, immune system component, good for diabetes, good for musculoskeletal arthritic function. Okay? But I don't want you all to go into the forest made chopping boison down. That's not cool. Okay? Once or twice I mentioned remedies, or I recommended people to go get herbal remedies. Then you go into the forest and you can't see these remedies, or I go to the places where I recommended these people, and all these remedies have been chopped. Okay? Because why? We don't respect nature anymore. We just want to exploit nature. We just want to love nature so that it benefits us. We don't love nature selflessly. We love nature selfishly. We want to protect the planet and be vegan and be an animal rights conservationist because we're thinking about our future. Because we love nature selfishly and think about, if we pollute the planet, then what's going to happen to the next future generations? Yeah, I agree too. I think about that a lot too. But do you really love nature selflessly? Okay. A lot of topics we've talked about. You all can rewind this. I'll make it available for a certain time. I might delete it later though. Okay. Because it's too much gems in one session. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in. I want to say Ankh Ujasined, life, power, and abundance of health and wealth and blessings and wellness unto you and yours and your family. Okay. Fuck COVID-19. Okay. We need to use profanity sometimes to curse some certain things and to get it out of our life. Okay. Protect your immune system. Vitality, thank you for everyone who's been supporting me at Vitality. People who's been coming to the consultations, who've been asking for your herbs, who've been buying your supplements. Thank you for supporting me. Okay? I go through a lot of trouble. A lot of you go online and say, oh, these things, it's Swanson medicine. It's very cheap online, but this guy wants to sell it expensive. I try and sell it at the lowest profit margin that I can. I try and sell it at the best rate that I can. You know why? Try bringing in these by the thousands, okay? And you will see. You will see what kind of, how much of a headache it is to bring these things into the country in Seychelles, okay? And how it's a huge work and sacrifice to bring these things in the country. And don't just watch price all the time, okay? There is an unseen energy behind these remedies, okay? Watch the person who's giving you these things. What kind of person is selling you these remedies? Sometimes dishonest, immature, unspiritual, foolish, unwise, vampiric, wicked people are trying to sell you natural medicine. Don't just buy anything from anyone. Don't buy natural medicine from crooks. Buy natural medicine from righteous people, from good people, from loving people. Okay, because I go through a lot of hard time to bring this in. I'm the representation of Swanson here. I distribute Swanson products in Seychelles. If you want to carry Swanson products, if you want to sell Swanson products in your house, in your shop, then get in touch with me. I can, sell you some at a wholesale rate, and you can sell it. They're all quality. They all, don't have any chemicals in it. Like if you look into this, only it's chaga mushroom. Only other ingredients it's brown rice flour, which you can get, which is safe and natural, magnesium stearate, silica, which is all safe and natural from you, and gelatin. I tried to go into business with other Seychelles doing these things, but you know what? Other Seychelles men in natural health business, they're all older than me. And you know what? They're all living in fear. They're all weak men. You know why? Because we've tried to work together and they fear me. And you know what? They boycott me. They slander me. They insult me to other people and clients of theirs. When I've been humbly supporting them and telling other clients about them, they spend their time dissing me and criticizing me. I have no time to diss and criticize anyone. Why? Because I've got to speak about my stuff, my life, my doings. Okay? Yes, Rasmalgas, fire bonds out. À cause créole pas qu'à travailler créole. À cause créole est quitte. À cause quoi malba, il y a quelqu'un dans la boutique, c'est ça. Malba est pareil pour aider l'autre malba, créole pas pareil pour aider l'autre créole. Okay? So, some creole, some Seychelles men in business, not always ready to help another Seychelles man in business. All right? Likewise, young Seychelles in general. I used to work with the Association of Young Entrepreneurs. A lot of young entrepreneurs in Seychelles don't want to help each other. I don't know what's up with these things. It's all to do with mental and physical and spiritual health, and jealousy and envy and fear and lack of self-confidence and lack of self-esteem. There's a lot of things that we have to detoxify from. There's a lot of things that we have to unlearn. You know what's going on now with the COVID-19 scamdemic? It's the destruction of Western civilization as you know it. Yes, I'm consulting one-on-one on a daily basis, and I'm also full as well. If you want an appointment with me, you're going to have to call the clinic and wait, okay? And wait for another 2 months. I'm full morning till evening. All my appointment books are already full. By the time December 2020 arrives, I'm already full until March. Okay, I'm highly in demand. I'm the only naturopath in the Seychelles and the first naturopath in the Seychelles. And dare I say, I'm the only person doing this kind of work at this level. Okay, even on a world level, all of the naturopaths have told me that what I'm doing is not like what other naturopaths are doing in the world. Okay, so I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for buying my products. I thank you for coming to your consultations. I thank you for repeating your herbs. I'm very grateful for all of you, each and every one of you. Okay, I love each and every one of you. I have unconditional love for each of my clients in the shop. Everyone knows in the shop. If I come out between consults and I have another client waiting for you and you ask me a question, I will quickly answer your question. So that I help you out. I won't be too long because someone else is waiting for me. I can't be selfish, and I've got to think of them too. But I will also answer your query. Everyone who sees me coming out between my consult always tells me they appreciate the way I've helped them with their product or with their health. Everyone who watches my videos always tells me that people who haven't even bought my stuff, haven't even come to clinic, you always tell me that these videos are informative and has changed you and changed your family's life and everything. So this is why I do it, because no one else is doing it in the Seychelles, okay? And I do it for the love. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for the Facebook likes, I don't do it for the fame and fortune, okay? So I do it for the love, okay? So, yeah, all right. So that's all, folks, and thank you very much, and peace and love, and have a very good day. Vitamin D3 infini, and tahabankesos infini, all these things that are finished, we should be having them in about 2 weeks' time. They should be in. Okay, I know this video is going to go viral. It's a long video, but it's worth it, guys, especially to the ones who are tuning in live. Banbupai Chris, yeah, merci beaucoup pour tuner in commencement jusqu'à finition. like I said, more limit. I wanted to limit it to 15-20 minutes, but when I see people coming in, when I see people still tuning in, then I stay online so that everyone can get a piece of healing and some nice, wonderful healing energy. Okay? Have a good day. La happy bas on day mo. Monte zo tem petit have you can même sagle salade e for la. Okay, for sexual health, what do we have right now? For sexual health, we have NAC. We have chaga mushroom just finished. We have garlic. We've got ginseng. We've got magnesium. We've got ginkgo. These are things you can use for male sexual health. Okay? Have a good day. Peace, love, blessings.